Hello, welcome, and let's take a trip into nostalgia. Who didn't enjoy classic adventure games like Sierra Games and now, fortunately, platforms like GOG or Good Old Games? We can get the games and we can play them using ScummVM. So let me show you a classic game playing right now on my computer. I'm gonna start a classic game, King's Quest 3, which I think many of us played it, and it is very dear to our memories, since many of us spent a lot of time playing this game, running away from the evil wizard. So yeah, let's start it. So we are greeted with the story of poor Gwydion, held captive by Manannan, the evil wizard. Wait, is this alright? Are we sure that we are playing the right game? Wait, when did Gollum narrated King's Quest 3? Was it part of the game? It is definitely Gollum who is narrating the game. So here we are in the game. I can look around. There is this nasty cat. Oh, well, I got it. Now we need to be careful, because if I get caught with some ingredients to make magic, the wizard is just gonna kill me. Well, anyway, I'm just gonna get myself killed. So I'm gonna move these books around. And there he is, not happy at all. And I'm dead. So, how does this happen? I mean, not the getting killed part. How did I get Gollum enlisted to be the narrator of this game? Well, this is what I want to talk about. I want to talk about a side project that I've been working on called ScummLLM, which is just a fork of ScummVM, and you get to choose who is the narrator. You can have your classic Sierra adventure games narrated by an LLM of your choice. If you think about it, Sierra games, they try to be like an LLM. They had a text parser, you type instructions and then text will come out. So What is ScummLLM? So we have classic Scum games like King's Quest, Space Quest, Let's Shoot with Larry, also called the golden age of Sierra adventure games. They are running inside ScummVM. So what we are doing is actually just text interception. When ScummVM is about to display any narration or dialogue, ScummLLM intercepts it before it reaches the screen. This is forward to an LLM who is going to rewrite the text, and that is what it is appearing on screen. And the game is totally oblivious to it. No changes have been made to the game. The original game engine is totally untouched. The original game is not tampered with. There are no changes to the game whatsoever. This is pure interception done by the Scum virtual machine, okay? So this is the architecture. We have Scum, which is a game engine, which is made to emulate many games, classic games of the 80s and 90s. And in this case, it's running King's Quest 3 or any other game. And it has a print layer. So here, when it is about to print some text into the screen, this is what I call the interception point. So after the interception point, we have the ScummLLM middleware, which is actually the change. This whole project is just a fork of the original ScummVM. So the ScummLLM middleware, it's only doing one thing. It's grabbing the text. It is grabbing some information about the room. Some metadata is also injected. There is a personality file that you configure as well, plus the room metadata. This is sent to an LLM backend, which is configured through an ini file. It can be a local LLM through a llama, or it can be an external LLM like ChatGPT or Cloud API. The text is being rewritten and it is displayed to the user, and the user sees the text totally rewritten. How is it works? So in the original game, the player types commands. For example, look at chicken. The standard Sierra parser understood a lot of commands, and they had to be done by hand. Each possible command that the player could come up with had to be encoded by hand. And then, if a command is detected, the original engine, AGI, Adventure Game Interface, I think it was, Adventure Game Interface, if I'm not mistaken. For example, if I type look chickens, it prints message number 14. And here is a hook where ScummLLM intercepts the print and rewrites the print with a personality. Let me show you an example of how it works in the original game. So we're looking at the logic for room 34. This is outside Manana's house. And here you have a lot of if statements. For example, if the player said examine or feel or look on or see or show, and then heals. You see, it's a big if statement. And if this is the case, this is the message that they're gonna get printed. The lone mountain rises from the forest of Ludor to this cloud-encircled peak, I guess. So this is the message that is going to be intercepted by the LLM and transformed and sent back to the players. So you can kind of get the sense of what is going on here. Here you will eventually find the code to open the gate and get the chicken flies out of your graph. If you try to get the chicken, catch, pick, birds, buzzard, you cannot reach the chickens. What's wrong with the chickens you're holding? And there are also some flags here for the text. But anyway, you see, Sierra did not use an LLM. It used a massive if statement to print the message and to make the actions happen and to interact with the players. So what we are doing is just we are getting these messages and we are changing them and printing the changed version. So we are intercepting these messages, modifying them, and sending it back to the users. And the LLM rewrites with a personality. So this is how we go from this message to something like this, like nasty chickens, precious, pecking and scratching the dirty cage. And you get the feeling, okay? The personality system is basically just a simple text file, okay? It's a plain text file that it is injected into the LLM along with the original text. So we have the current room or the scene name, we have the original game text rewrite, we have the active personality, and we have the LLM backend, which can be local or cloud. And these are some of the personalities that I have tested, and the results have ranged from funny to totally chaotic. Let me show you how to quickly configure ScummLLM to change a personality. So if you go to the ScummVM ini file, which is going to be different for each operating system, its location is going to be different. So you go here and you need to add just 3 lines to configure the ScummLLM. In this case, I am going to be using a local LLM. In this case, I'm going to use Ollama. I already installed, loaded, and it is serving. So I'm going to use Ollama with the model Llama 3. And I'm going to inject the personality file, personalityGollum.txt in this case, which is simple enough. Produce every text output like Gollum from Lord of the Rings. Sub the name Gwydion every time with Gwydiolum. When generating text, do not display root numbers on gate metadata. And that's it for the personality file. But wait, we can have more personality files. Let's just have a little bit of fun. And instead of personality Gollum, let me use another one that it was already configured. And let's have fun. I'm gonna click save. Let me launch ScummLLM again. And let me reload King's Quest 3. And there you have it. Let me get myself killed, I'm just curious. Okay, now I'm dead. So when you're selecting an LLM backend, you have 2 options. You can use something local like Olama, and there are many advantages to it. First of all, it runs 100% offline. You have full privacy. No data will ever leave your machine. It works with any Llama compatible model. I tested Qwen 3. I tested Llama 3.1. And well, I didn't write it here, but I also got great results with Mistral running locally. There's just a little downside to using something local, and it's that it can be very slow, especially if you're running on a low-end machine or if you don't have a big GPU. So this might be a problem because the game can feel a little bit slow or laggy, but it's free. No API cost. You can run it. You can play the whole game from start to finish, and you will not be billed a single cent. And you can also use Cloud API, which you will usually get better results. Local models via Olama, as many people say, they are not as smart as the ones that are hosted in the cloud. So you will most likely get better results using cloud APIs, and the response time is going to be much, much faster. You are going to get better style fidelity, especially on larger models, but there is a cost per token associated. Yes, you don't need to have a powerful GPU. It will run in any computer, but hey, there's a cost per token. I can assure you that it's not gonna be that bad. I mean, personally, I prepaid $10 of tokens for OpenAI, and I haven't even spent a single dollar, and I have been playing a lot with the API. So it's not that bad, and even playing a full game is going to even cost you $1. But hey, don't blame me, prices might change. So if you decide to go this way and you spend a lot of money, please don't blame me. So why it works? Well, see, narration is pure text. That was the beauty and the elegance of the old times. Text goes in, text comes out. So it's the perfect place for an LLM to do a little bit of magic. You also get room metadata, so there's a context that the LLM can also take into account when generating its output. And LLMs are good as style transfer machines, and that is why they can intercept text and roleplay another character. And this is the most interesting part. The game has no idea that the text was intercepted. It is just going to continue playing as if nothing ever happened, okay? So how do I get this running? It's very simple. I added the link in the description. So you just have to choose if you have a Windows, a Mac, or a Linux operating system, you just download it and you run it. And then you need to locate your ini file. And once you locate your ini file, you have to configure this at least 3 lines if you're using a local provider. But there's a catch. You have to run ScummLLM at least once. You have to add the game, look for the game in the directory, and run it at least once. That ScummVM gets a little picky, but if you want to use an API, for example, for Space Quest 3, I configured an API. You have to say which is your provider. In this case, it's not going to be Olama anymore. It's going to be OpenAI. I'm going to choose the model. I'm going to choose the personality file. And you will need to go into the API config website and get your personal token key and copy paste it. And now we are ready to go. Let me save this and let me run Space Quest 3 using OpenAI. There you go. Oh, there's a glitch. So you get the idea. Trust me, it's gonna work. Living sad. We'll wait more for your next visit. Roger the janitor. Leave soon. MAGA. So this doesn't come for free in the sense that we encounter some problems. So sometimes, for example, there is text overflow. The model is gonna produce text that is too large for the window. So that is a known problem. There are uneven models. Of course, we have some models that perform better than others. Some perform very well, like Llama 3 and Mistral. They have great results. And some models accidentally reveal game metadata instead of just rewriting the file, or they will just ask you, okay, I just rewrote this text. Are you fine with it? And ask you a follow-up question. So that's bad. As I said, if you're running a local LLM, you're gonna get lag. Because if you don't have a good GPU, it's still gonna be a little bit, you'll have to wait for at least 1 second to get the response rewritten back to you. There is context lost, and context can vanish mid-interception. I mean, maybe one interception was good, the next interception might not be that good. Some characters might get confused. So the prompt must be very precise and explicitly told to preserve it. This is where the difference becomes very noticeable. When you're using an API like ChatGPT or Claude, you can add very detailed personality files with very detailed instructions about what to do and about what not to do, and you can tweak it very much to your liking and practically make all the characters and the narrator stay in character, never mind the pun, during the whole game, okay? And well, API cost. As I said, external APIs are faster, but every intersection has a cost. And as I said, I think I spent 30 cents in all my experiments. So it is not that bad. Okay, so now let me show you some demos. And let me ruin your childhood by running some demos with a very careful prompt and with a great interception. You are going to recognize the games, so let me show you one demo after another. So now we have a fun. Feel free to download the engine, feel free to experiment, feel free to create your personality files, and feel free to post your runs. It's gonna be fun. I think it might be worth it to play the game entirely narrated by Gollum, by the president, by anyone you can actually come up with which has a clear writing style. What can we do now if we want to keep the fun going? Well, we could add text-to-speech integration. Now, instead of just narrating Gollum, we can go for more advanced games and actually swap the voice files and have text-to-speech narration. We can expand this project to cover more game engines. We can have a personality marketplace, very detailed prompts that are proven to work. We can have very fine-tuned models that are very precise and that will work very specifically for any particular game. And one thing that I wanted to do, but I never had the time to do, is a player control persona that you can add maybe some text and you can switch personas mid-styles, or maybe make one character be one persona and other character be another persona. This is something that can be added in the future and give the LLM memory of what has happened. So maybe you can even change the whole story, knowing what was happened, what was changed, and to stay consistent. So there's still a lot of fun to be had by experimenting with old Sierra games, with old technology, and modern LLMs. So I hope you like this kind of retro experiment that I created for you. So if you enjoy playing with old machines and tinkering and mixing old stuff and new stuff, I invite you to take my course about assembly programming in the original Game Boy. It's already live in Udemy. I'm gonna I'm going to give the link in the description. If you want to support me, I will appreciate if you get enrolled in the course. And if you have any questions, if you have any suggestions, or please feel free to add any of your feedback in the comments section. And well, I appreciate your time. Thanks for watching. And now let's go have fun. Let's go have fun mixing old stuff with new stuff, okay? Thank you very much and see you around.